What's up, guys? It's the Chinist. So today is February 14th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my massive haul here of 29 with 27 different titles. Huge week this week. So starting off with DC, we have Dark Knights. This is Dark Knights Rising in Wild Hunt. I'm sorry, The Wild Hunt. This is a one-shot. This is a tie-in to the Dark Knights Metal. If you're not picking up Dark Knights Metal and you're into DC, I'm not sure why you're not picking it up. Really need to be picking it up, and all the one-shots, in my opinion, all add value to the overall story arc, including this one. You really need to pick this one up because at the very end, they show you like a new introduction of another force for the good side. You know, everything so far in Metal has been like, you know, disparity, everything is going wrong, you know, all of our superheroes are all losing, you know, in all their fights pretty much so far. But, you know, a little glimmer of hope at the end of this one. Great stuff, guys. Again, pick up Metal, the overall storyline, and all the tie-ins that go along with it. All right, a new one from DC, we have Sideways. So this is all the new Age of Heroes. This is going to be all based on the artwork side of things. So this is done by Didio. I think it's how you pronounce his last name. Man, excellent artwork. You know, so I'm always looking for like the detailed, like the high super detailed stuff for my superhero genre. That's what I always enjoy. You know, that's what I favor. You know, depending on the storyline, other art obviously, you know, gets paired along with it. But, you know, as a general rule for the superhero genre, I love the detail stuff. And man, this one hits it right there, man. So this one's really based on this high school kid. They have not explained his origin, you know, how he got his powers yet so far, but he's able to open up rifts and kind of portal around, you know, kind of like Nightcrawler in a sense. But in addition to that, he also has super strength, you know, and he's kind of talking about, you know, he thinks he's kind of comparable to Superman on the strength side of things. He's kind of, you know, testing out his powers right now. But man, great stuff. I am definitely going to subscribe to this one and pick up 2 on. All right, New Superman. So at issue number 20, they actually changed up the title. It's instead of just New Superman, they actually added "and the Justice League of China." You know, ever since like issue number 4, you know, I really felt, you know, Kanan is a great main character, but you know, when they started introducing the Batman and the Wonder Woman of China, man, I really started to enjoy the team dynamics right off the bat. And you know, I think if you watch like my older videos, I say that, you know, it's not really New Superman, it's really the Justice League of China is what this title's about. And like at issue number 20, they finally changed the title. So yeah, to its good credit. So obviously they also had a Flash, and you kind of see like a romance thing kind of going on between Flash, Superman, of course, Batman, and Wonder Woman already have romance going on from previous issues. So yeah, man, things are heating up. Okay, next up, The Flash. So in the last issue, number 39, you saw that Gorilla Grodd came back. Kind of explains his cohort, who they kind of show on his on the cover here, the Lord of Lightning. We kind of figure out who, you know, they expose who that is. You see why they're kind of paired up together and what Gorilla Grodd has offered the Lord of Lightning, you know, in the future. Great stuff, great stuff. You also find out there's a huge change for Barry Allen. Man, extreme change at the very end of this issue here. So interesting to see what's going to continue on, or maybe who is going to continue on as the Flash going forward in issue number 41. Yeah, great title, guys. Okay, last up from DC, Batman Detective Comics. This is a title I typically do not pick up. I've been picking up every now and again just to kind of keep up with the storyline, but I am going to go back and read Batman and Detective Comics in trade. But man, I really love the Bat family dynamics that they have here. Of course, at the end of the last issue, you saw Clayface, you know, get shot by Batwoman. And of course, that last, when Tim Drake came from the future, it was all an effort to assassinate Batwoman, and he wouldn't really explain, you know, why and, you know, what she was going to do, but it may be all unfolding right now. So yeah, great stuff. You see the Bat family kind of, you know, a little bit of tension, and you see a change in the Bat family overall at the very end of this issue. So, man, great stuff. If you're not picking up Batman, you don't enjoy Batman, check out both Batman and Detective Comics. You know, they cross over from time to time, but man, they really stand up as a title of its own. All right, so Onto the Marvel side, I was able to pick up, this is the Mike Del Mundo, this is part of the Young Guns variant. Last week was Rogue, and a lot of the YouTubers were able to pick up the Rogue side. Man, so this is the Marvel 2-in-1, able to pick up Ben Grimm the Thing. Man, so this comic is going for as much as like $75 online. Man, so happy to pick this up. Of course, my 2 LCS, they offer the variants at cover price. Excellent pickup there, guys. Really happy about that one. Okay, so next up we have Star Wars. This is Thrawn. So for those of y'all who used to read like the older Dark Horse Star Wars, and used to read the old Legends, considered now Legends novels that were out there, man, Thrawn was a complete strategist. He was a complete badass, like maybe the most intelligent Empire resource that they've ever had. He finally made his appearance in the animated Star Wars Rebels. I think last season, season 3, is when he came in. Excellent stuff. So this is kind of his origin of how he was originally found by the Empire, and how he kind of started moving up the ranks from cadet, all the way to where, for those of you who know him, he was introduced as a general. He was already, the highest rank possible. He was already in charge of a Star Destroyer, when he was first introduced. So this is his origin story. Great stuff so far. So on this one, I was actually able to pick up 2 copies of the animated incentive that came out. I think this was going for maybe like $10 online. So yeah, happy picking those 2 up as well. Okay, next up, Avengers No Surrender. This is part 6. This came out this week. I picked up Avengers part 1. I was going to go forward in trade just because I wanted to read, all 16 parts all together. But since this is selling out, I went ahead and started subscribing to it, but I'm not going to read it until I read it all together. So yeah, that's why I bagged and board part 6 that came out this week. If you're an Avengers fan, you definitely need to be picking this up, guys. Okay, next up from Marvel, we have Star Wars Darth Vader. Man, great stuff. If you are any type of Darth Vader fan, you really need to go pick up, this is actually Volume 2. You need to pick up Volume 1, which is also done by Charles Soule. Excellent storyline here, man. So you have the Conquistadors, which Darth Vader is managing at this point in time. He gets into a little tiff here to where bounty hunters are actually after Darth Vader. So he's actually fighting bounty hunters at this point in time. Man, excellent fight. He actually loses his lightsaber. I won't get into what kind of how he gets out of this, but man, great storyline. Again, if you like Darth Vader, you need to be picking this one up. And at the very end of this issue, you find out who sent the bounty hunters after Darth Vader. A little bit of a twist. Pretty cool stuff. All right, Old Man Hawkeye. So this is from, the Old Man realm that they did with Wolverine. I think this happened, it's either 2 to 5 years before Old Man Wolverine story arc happened with Jeff Lemire. So, I was not, so I picked up that number 1. I think I picked up, cover A and an incentive of the number 1 that came out. I have never been a Hawkeye fan, to tell you the truth, guys. I really like my superheroes to actually have powers. Batman is one of the rare superheroes that I read that actually does not have powers. So, because I was never a Hawkman fan or a Green Arrow, for that matter, I was not anticipating, picking this one up as an ongoing series. But man, that number 1 blew me away, guys. If you did not pick up number 1, try to pick it up. If you're not a Hawkeye fan like me, man, don't worry about that. This is a great storyline so far. So yeah, I am going to pick up this entire series and read it month to month, to my surprise. So yeah, Old Man Hawkeye number 2. All right, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Man, love this one, really, due to anime. So she, started off at 8 years old. They kind of did like a fast forward, 8 years later, to where now she's in high school. This one issue kind of centers around like her more personal life within the high school realm, and of course like parents do every now and again, Peter Parker decided to go ahead and get a job as a teacher at her school, and she starts flipping out. Hey, why are you doing that? I need my this is my space type of situation. So yeah, great family dynamics that happen in this title, which is why I enjoy it so much. Okay, XMen Blue. So, in the last XMen Blue annual #1, I think, they introduced, Venom. They introduced symbiotes who were coming after Scott Summers' father, who was, I forgot what his name is, but, like the leader of the Starjammers. So, evil symbiotes, shown here, abducted his father, so him and the X-Men team went after his father, along with Venom, who they brought him as kind of like a big gun backup. So they're getting into the fight. They got their asses completely handed to them, and kind of regrouping now at this point in time. But pretty cool storyline, off-world, Guardians of Galaxy type of feel to it, as you can see here. But man, great storyline. Enjoy all the X-Men titles at this point in time, including X-Men Red. Okay, another title that I just started subscribing to this week, Captain America. I really picked it up due to they're starting an Out of Time storyline, and that's going to lead into issue number 700. So I'm going to pick it up for, up to 700 for sure, and see what kind of happens right after that. But I've never really picked up Captain America as an ongoing basis, to tell you the truth. Kind of just picked up keys and, variants here and there whenever they came out. So yeah, so this kind of, when they reintroduced the Legacy, it's the same type of artwork. I'm not really a fan of this art. And, I guess I understand, what they're doing. They kind of like mix like the silver, golden age, kind of together with a little modern feel to it, more in the coloring more than anything else. But, the pencils and ink really are going back to like a more silver age, tradition. I don't know, just not a fan. As I said a little while ago, I really like the super detail on the superhero side of things, and the story arc does not lend itself to this type of artwork in my opinion. So yeah, not too much of a fan. Not too much happens here in this one issue. He actually goes into the future, and so you have like a post-apocalyptic type of world. Nuclear missiles went off, and he's trying to take America back. So this is all in the future. Pretty cool concept. We'll see how it goes. Okay, next up from Marvel, we have Weapon X. Man, great storyline. Again, I guess, February, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. So, a little bit of romance in a lot of these titles, and you have a little bit of a romance happening in this one as well. So this one starts off, pure action. They're holed into this one building, mob-like outside, about to try to attack him. They decide to go ahead and take the pills that the government kind of set up for, to fight the mutants, essentially. So they take it themselves, they start kicking ass, and you get into like a little romance between Domino and bam, there it is. A little surprise there. So yeah, cool stuff, a lot of action, little romance going on. If you like the slice them up type of storylines, as I said before, Weapon X, this is your title. All right. Two titles that I typically do not pick up as an ongoing basis, but picked them up due to the Hulk variants that came out this week. Man, so this one, I think this was, this was Mike Deodato, I think, is who did this cover. Not sure who did this one, but man, I love this cover right here, man. Love it. So don't pick up Doctor Strange. Again, Doctor Strange got picked up by Donny Cates, which I do love, but I'm going to pick that one up in trade just to read all its storyline together. But again, love these covers. So yeah, cover grabs for this week. Okay, next up from Image, we have Curse Words. Man, so I love this little team dynamic between Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. They also did God Hates America. Love that title. Man, I'm disappointed that they actually canceled that title. But yeah, man, I love this fantasy artwork that kind of really goes along with the storyline, in my opinion. So, it's like the fanciful, type of a coloring, palette that kind of goes along with it. But man, all good stuff. Great storyline. They took what is her name? Not Maribeth. Margaret. They took Margaret, and I actually thought that she was his daughter. But I guess come to find out, they kind of talk about her like a little bit different here, to where she's like, magically made or something. So, but I thought it was actually his, his daughter from his, seed. But yeah, man, cool stuff. Curse Wars. If you're looking for something a little bit different with magic and humor, check it out. Okay, next up from Image, we have a #1 by Justin Jordan. So Justin Jordan is one of my favorite art writers because he did Luther Strode. Man, Luther Strode is one of my most favorite story arcs ever. So yeah, again by Justin Jordan. So I try to give everything that he does a shot. The last one he did was Family Trade. I was not a fan of Family Trade. I think I picked up #1. I was like, oh, one and done with that one. So in this one, pretty cool concept. So you have, you know, and this two-page splash is pretty phenomenal here. But you have this pill, this magical pill, who allows you to see exactly how love works. So you have a group of guys. Here's the main character. You know, he's kind of like real sarcastic, you know, douchebag in a way. They're, you know, having trouble finding love, and you know they find it. This guy walks up to them in a bar, hands him, you know, this real shady guy hands him a pill. After they take the pill, you know, they actually see, you know, cupids running around, and they see how things really work. So yeah, this sounded pretty interesting to me. I enjoy the artwork that was in this one. Yeah, I give this artwork maybe like a 3.5 out of 5. But yeah, Death of Love, I actually skipped on this originally and went back to go pick it up. So yeah, I really did enjoy this one. I will be subscribing to that. All right, next up from Image, Port of Erth. Man, very cool concept. You know, so this is #4, still early on in the series here. Overall concept, you have, you know, aliens are out there. They've always been out there for millennia. They contact Earth and arrange with the Earth government to allow Earth to be a docking station, you know, a gas station, so to speak, you know, at a 50,000 high level, you know, view. So this is how the Earth is dealing with both the aliens who are visiting Earth, and separate to that, you have the more political stand as far as, you know, what are they doing, how, you know, who's benefiting from it. You have a lot of the larger corporations who are, you know, really capitalizing on this new technology that the aliens are giving to them. Man, so great storyline. The only, you know, my only, you know, pet peeve about this is I enjoy the overall inking and the pencils, but the coloring is just not, it's too blah for me. You know, I'm not sure what they were going for there, but I mean, even when you get inside, it's just, you know, it's not vivid enough for me. My only complaint, but man, great storyline. All right, so again from Image, we have Kill or Be Killed. Love this title, man. Again, I think I picked this one up after I went to trade, then I went back and got, you know, #1 all the way through, and love this title, guys. So pretty cool. So you have the main hero who is actually in an asylum at this point in time. He was picked up, and while he was picked up, you know, he actually confesses like, hey, I'm the vigilante. I'm the guy who's out there who are killing like all these, you know, mafia mob guys. And the reason why I'm doing it is because there's this demon that I see, and the demon tells me. So he's straight up telling the psychiatrist, like, this is everything that's going on. Well, while he's trying to explain that to him, you have another copycat who's out there who's doing the same thing. He gets dressed up as him, so there goes his story. So the doctor just thinks he's straight up crazy. So man, great storyline. They're kind of setting up who he's going to be killing next in order to live. But man, great storyline, guys. Kill or Be Killed. All right, Kickass. So I think this is volume #4. I think, guys, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but yeah, cool stuff. So this is kind of like a reboot, and you have, you know, this time around the main hero is a heroine, and she is basically, so she came from a military background. She got into, you know, after she came back from the war, she got into financial issues. She's trying to figure out how to get money to go forward, and she decides to don the suit and go after mafia type of money, you know, bad money to suit, you know, her needs. Pretty cool stuff. So this is one to where I thought I was just going to pick up a #1 just to have a #1. Man, the storyline is pretty good, guys. I'm actually going to subscribe to this one for the time being. So yeah, issue #2 is going to come my way. All right, Aftershock. We have Babyteeth by Donny Cates. Again, you know, I'm a huge Donny Cates fan right now. There's hardly anything that he has not done that I have not enjoyed, man. So, man, again, huge Donny Cates fan. This Babyteeth is definitely one of those that I enjoy. This one took a little bit of time for me. By like issue number 3 or 4, I started getting a little bit more on board. But great stuff overall. You have the Antichrist, who was born, to a mother here, the main character, and you kind of see her struggle to keep the baby alive. There's different people who want to kill it, other people who want to, worship it. In this issue, you kind of get a little bit more backstory in regard to who she is, who her mother is, and who her grandmother is. And apparently, it's been a long line of, satanic worshiping, so to speak. But yeah, a lot of good background information came out in this issue number 8. So yeah, Babyteeth. Okay, next up from Aftershock, we have Cold War. So overall storyline on this one, great concept. You have humans who were put into cryogenic sleep. They knew that they were going into the future. They don't explain too much about why they're going into the future. I can't recall if there's any explanation of lack of resources, or if there's a pending war. But fast forward into the future, I forgot how long they were in sleep. But fast forward, and you come to find out they're in a war. They've been drafted from cryo sleep to go directly into this war. So they're basically waking up and being landed onto the battlefield. Very, very cool concept. My issue here is the artwork. I really only give this artwork very low, guys. I say this is like a 1.75 out of 5 for the artwork side, but the storyline, on the other hand, is maybe like a 4.25 out of 5. So guys, pending what you like, if you love the storyline, I think this had a great storyline to go with it. I'm just not a fan of the artwork. I'm on the fence for number 2. I may have to thumb through number 2 to decide if I want to pick it up or not, but I did not subscribe to it yet. Okay, next up from Boom Studio, we have Skybourne. So this is issue number 505. This concludes this miniseries. This storyline has been freaking phenomenal, in my opinion. This was really my first introduction to Frank Cho. So I didn't come back to comics until beginning of 2016. And I think that's when this title kind of kicked off. So this is kind of like a retelling of, a Merlin type of storyline. A modern Merlin, Excalibur type of storyline. Great stuff. You have a brother and sister who are, basically immortal, going up against Merlin. He's an evil type of guy here in his dragons. Great battle, great fight scenes. Frank Cho, killed it on the artwork, in my opinion. Great storyline. The only issue here is it took about a year to get 5 issues out to complete the series. I'm not sure what the hell happened there. So in regard to the artwork and the storyline, way up there, maybe like a 4.5 for both of them. In regard to the schedule, and complete fail. But man, guys, if this comes out in trade, I highly suggest to pick this one up. Skybourne. Okay, next up from Dark Horse, we have Giants. So love this title. This has a true Japanese anime kaiju feel to it. Straight up, from the storyline to the dialogue to the artwork, in my opinion, and great anime feel to it. So if you love those type of storylines, check this one out. So a lot of stuff happens here, man. A lot of good fighting. There's a lot of kaiju stuff that happens here. A little bit more explanation of how they operate, and you see a little bit more kinship coming here towards the end of this one. But it sounds like there's going to be like a couple year gap between this issue and the next one. So man, they set up that next issue pretty well. So guys, I would suggest to pick this one up if you like anime, giant kaiju. Check this one out. Okay, next up from Titan Comics, we have Atlas and Axis. So this is a reprint, is what my understanding is. This is like an old French comic. I don't know how old this comic is, or when it originally came out in France. This is, although it's kind of like a cartoony Mickey Mouse artwork feel to it, it's not. It's a straight up adult type of storyline. There's a lot of killing, there's a lot of gore, people die, there's a lot of emotion that happens here. Great storyline. So I enjoyed this number 2, but I think I'm going to pick this one up in trade going forward. I think it would read excellent in trade. So yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit different, Atlas and Axis. Alright guys, last up for you in this huge haul is going to be from Valiant. We have Bloodshot Salvation. Excellent storyline. I have never been a true Bloodshot fan. Just kind of jumped into it on this one. Man, love it. Love the ride. I actually went back and got a few older Bloodshot trades. just to get a little bit more history on who he actually was, how did he get the nanites, who are those other Bloodshot guys who are always kind of like in the background. But man, great stuff here. You know, he's trying to save Frank, the main character is trying to save his baby. So they kind of do like you know, won't give it away at the very end, but the baby is definitely in jeopardy, and they kind of do like a little solo mission. So yeah, very cool stuff. Love the artwork, that kind of like painted feel to it. Love it. So guys, that's going to be it for this week's huge, massive, brand new haul. Guys, if you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.